Yo! Welcome back to Thompsin and Other Disappointments, your goddamn entry point to the aftermath of what used to be the UK. It is now the, I don't know, it's a burning end of days situation here in Blighty. It's getting quite cold in the mornings and evenings, but rest assured the city is warmed by the river of Hades flowing through it, while formerly sane white-collar workers walk up and down Bishopsgate wearing a John 3:16 sandwich board, ringing a bell. Quasi and Liz pacing back and forth in an office in the number 10 complex, no doubt. Like, what do we do? What do we do? What the fuck do we do? Pound dropping in value by the day. Clowns? Clowns, it was kind of accurate. Clouds gathering over Downing Street, I was going to say. Lightning bolts and witches flying around cackling. That's where we're at in Great Britain right now, in late September of 2022. There is talk of our Chancellor, Kwasi Kwarteng, being kicked out, which is pretty fucking funny. Imagine that shit. Like, he's literally just got the job. Imagine that, like, backing Truss to be PM, you know? And she's like, back me, I'll make you Chancellor. Nice cushy gig next door to me. The Brexit mess, that's all Boris is doing, so you can blame everything on him. Dish out a few tax cuts to get growth going. Boom! Say yes, Kwasi. His eyes light up. Like, yeah, I suppose I could apply my history degree in classic studies to the world of complex fiscal machinery. What's the worst that could happen? You know? Joss is like, that's what I'm saying. Just in cahoots. He's like, history and castles and who won the Battle of Trafalgar, and then multi-dimensional cross-asset trading instruments that can change in a split second. I mean, they sound like very different disciplines, don't they? History and complex fiscal machinery. They sound different, but I bet there's a lot of crossover there. And Truss is like, absolutely, Kwasi. You'll be great at it. He's like, yeah, you know, transferable skills and all that. History, transferable to fiscal world. I'm positive. And look, I'm not knocking it. Good luck to him. Good luck to Kwasi Kwarteng. Don't let nothing hold you back, bro. You got a degree in classics. You studied history at Harvard. Some might say that makes you unqualified to run one of the most advanced fintech economies in the fucking world. But you just smashed through that glass ceiling, bro. You show him. I mean, in a way, it's quite diverse, really, isn't it? I mean, we all know the way, like, Tories wheel out the diversity bollocks when they form a new cabinet. We know this, right? Like, you know, when they give 7 of the top 15 jobs, say, to black, privately educated sociopaths. Like, and then they go, look, we've found people from all different walks of life. You're like, really? I mean, did you really? Did you? Yeah, look, he's black and she's black. It's diverse. And it's kind of like, it's true. They are from different walks of life. You know, kinda. It's just, you know, different golf clubs, though. Their parents met at different golf clubs to the golf club that this guy's parents met at. You know, that's the difference. That's the diversity right there. Kwasi went to Eton. Sunak went to Eton. Johnson went to Eton. Like, and then them and Braverman and Cleverly, like, they're all privately educated. If you took any of them to the council estate I grew up on, they'd come out in hives. They'd start shaking and convulsing like the kid in The Omen near the church, you know? Well, we're super diverse. No, you just found black sociopaths. Congrats. Anyway, back to back to a classics degree running the Exchequer, it is, it's quite diverse. It's equality in fifth gear, guys. I mean, I mock the Conservative Party for employing a, superficial layer of amdram diversity, like it's barely fucking acknowledgeable with anything more than an explosion of laughter. We're very diverse here. Really? Literally all of you know each other from the private member circuit. Like, why do you even give each other jobs? Just one of you should do the whole thing. You're that much the same, I better be fucking, careful or this shit will get taken out of context. Oh, they're all the same. These black Tories are all the same. No, I don't mean it like that, I don't mean it like that. I just mean, they're only superficially black. What? No, that's not okay. I mean, they're all the same as the other Tories, They're the same person cloned out on a conveyor belt again and again. Like a carousel on the world's shittest game show. What do I win now? Oh, there's so many prizes to choose from. Do I want the privately educated Oxbridge sociopath or the exact same fucking prize over and over again? It's hard to choose. Like, if someone gets introduced to James Cleverly, they should go to shake his hand and then hold their hand back just at the last second, and go, wait, no, what's the point? I already met you 5 minutes ago. And point to the next, Etonite fucking private school prick. Do you know what I mean? Anyway, to be crystal fucking clear, I'm not saying they're the same because they're black or people of colour or whatever. I'm saying they tick most of the same boxes from a class and socio-economic standpoint, right? You understand the difference. I'm sure you do, listener, but so somebody will listen to this and go oh my God, I can't believe he said they're all the same. It's so predictable and tedious. But anyway, pretending it's diverse because on a surface layer, they appear to be different to the usual Tories, like the grey-haired, red-cheeked boat club bellends. Pretending they've achieved diversity because of that is actually not that far from racism itself. I know that sounds weird, but it's just exploiting something that this person can't change for your own material benefit. It just fucking is. Anyway, yes, it is kind of diverse. I'll give them credit for this, using a classics degree to run the Exchequer. Quick pause for beer, guys. Oh, that's fucking delicious. It is kind of diverse to give that job, number 11, Chancellor of the Exchequer, to a history grad. You can do this too. Don't let these bigoted experts at the Bank of England tell you can't run this shit just because your degree was in something completely unrelated to finance. Don't let them hold you back. I think if Todd Margaret has taught us anything, it's that you've got to fake it till you make it. Son, learn on the job. You imagine Kwesi saying, but what if I fuck up? Don't worry about it. There's a pre-employment training course college just over there. Where? I can't see. Just past the unicorns and over the sunlit but not solar-powered uplands. You're going to be fine. Everything's going to be fine, Kwesi. It really is one of life's great mysteries for me. And perhaps for you. But if you grew up on council estates, right? If you grew up in a single-parent family, as I did, and you've worked shit jobs, serving fried food or whatever all over your weekend, if you've come up that sort of route, and then when you do work a bit harder and you do attain some level of financial security, however fucking temporary that might feel right now, you end up with this ingrained feeling that you don't deserve it. It's fucking wild, because you've come from that part of the world. You come up this sort of councillor state thing that then when you are in a sort of middle class lifestyle, I guess, you feel like you don't deserve it. Like whatever you work for, whatever the pay rise or bonus or achievement or however many podcast listens or Patreons you get, you always feel like it's a sham and someone's going to find you out, you know? Imposter syndrome, right? And yet, here's where it's a mystery, right? Yeah, I don't think that ever inhabits the minds of the Etonian lot. Like for a second. I don't think they ever stop to question if they have the right skill set to lead a country. You know? Like, could I actually be any good at this? Or, what is it I actually want to achieve when I get into number 10? What improvements to society would I like to implement? How could I help society? Do you think they ever ask themselves these questions? I don't think they do. Like, it's ingrained in them in the same way that my thing is ingrained in me. Like, it's ingrained in me that I don't deserve X, Y, and Z. It's ingrained in them, but in the opposite way, you know? Like someone pulled out the plus and minus cable, the red and white speaker cables, switched them around and shoved them back in, you know? Reversed the polarity or whatever, you know? So now, not only do they not think, God, someone's going to find out my classics degree is basically fucking dead philosophers talking shit. What will I do when they find me out? You know, it's not that. Not only do they not think that, but they actually think they're owed these jobs in high power. You know? And I imagine people like asking, like, are you sure you're up to this, Mr. Quartang? And, you know, he'd be like, yeah, this is... What are you talking about? Like, this is where I belong. I am precisely the sort of person who should hold this position. Are you sure? Because I mean, I think it's pretty complicated stuff. Yes, this makes perfect sense. Me, economics, ministerial car, heaping shit on a class of people I'd never let my kids near. It feels right. I don't think it ever occurs to them that they might not be a good fit for this. I think it's literally just like rites of passage for them. Is like Eton, Oxbridge, into a think tank, and then circle back, CCHQ, parachuted into an MP role, up to minister, and then that's fucking it. It's like, yeah, well, this is where I'm supposed to be. Like, what are you talking about? Why are you questioning it? Anyway, there's loads of shit going down as I'm recording this. I'm going to have a quick swig of beer because I think we need it, guys. There's a numbers guy, an analyst that works for Sky News, Ed Conway, and he's saying that if the Bank of England hadn't intervened in buying bonds, which is what they've done like today, and I think maybe yesterday they started doing it, which, look, here's a little clue in terms of how serious shit is getting. Like, last time we did this was the quantitative easing program that ran from 2008, the global financial crash, through to 2017, like a decade of QE. Basically, you know, governments buying back their own bonds to stop this rabid sell-off that's happening. Because nobody has confidence, you know? Like, I don't want to teach you all to, you know, suck eggs. Maybe you know this stuff already. But if you're not familiar with this stuff, with supply and demand, and with this, if too many people are selling off their UK debt IOUs at once, and the value of them then tanks because people have to lower the price to make it still attractive for somebody to buy. If too many of them are selling them off at once, like people don't believe the UK economy is in good shape or that it's worth buying bonds that would be repaid back to you like in 10 years, then they will sell. And then shit like people's pensions are linked to this because people align their pension investment portfolios with bonds. Like a bond is a product that your pension can buy into. So people buy these bonds because they're seen as low risk. At that stage in life, that later stage, your autumn years, you just want low risk. So I'll buy into government bonds and then the money's safe because what would ever happen to the British economy? And I get like a little return on it also. So that's like, but people's pensions with this sort of low risk product are now like what's the word? Like panic selling because they think the UK economy is in dire straits, which it kind of is. Anyway, if too many people sell them off too quickly, the value of them tanks. So the Bank of England are now trying to buy back £65 billion worth of them with magic money, probably. Which is fucking hilarious in itself, because it's like, you know, the economy's in dire straits. We're circling the fucking drain, guys. People aren't investing in the future of the UK. And the solution to this is just to magic a shit ton of money. And the reason I say it's magic money is because it's not based on gold reserves anymore, I don't think. It's literally like, yeah, we had 30 billion in this account, and now we have 90 billion. How much did you say you need again? It's like, you know, it's a computer function fired off, and then magically there's this money in there. And so anyway, then they buy the bonds to replicate demand and keep the value up a bit. I mean, it's market manipulation, I think. But, you know, fine, whatever. The older you get, the more you realise there's no such thing as market manipulation, or indeed insider trading, or probably murder, if you go up high enough. The higher you go, the less there are actual crimes, I swear, you know. Like the Bank of England can buy up a load of bonds to make it look like there's demand for them. And Gordon Brown can sell off the fucking gold reserves to make it look like there's no demand for gold, you know? And whether it looks bad to you and me, or even a fucking judge presiding over a financial crimes thing or not, all of that is out the window because it's a government or a financial institution like the Bank of England doing it, you know? But it's nuts because it's like, you know, if I asked a question to a lawyer, or, you know, what if I start a rumor that the CFO of the Daily Mail Group fucks animals? What if I started that rumor and flooded it like around investment? That like they'd be like, no, Aid, that could adversely affect the value of their stock positions, and you'd be liable for market manipulation charges among libel, and you would probably go to prison. Right, but what if the Bank of England fiscally tell everyone that bonds are amazing? Oh, well, that's fine. That is absolutely fine. Anyway, so that's what they're doing, is buying up these bonds to stop the effect of panic selling, right? And this chap, this numbers guy on Sky, he tweeted earlier today. He said, on the Bank of England intervention, I'm told the Bank of England were responding to a run dynamic on pension funds, a wholesale equivalent of the run which destroyed Northern Rock. And had they not intervened, there would have been mass insolvencies of pension funds by this afternoon. Fuck. So pension funds and presumably pension companies, organisations, your pension, my pension, who like potentially entire banks could have gone under this afternoon. So that's fun. Jesus Christ, keep it light, Ed. And yet, even as banks pull their mortgage deals and pension funds and almost go bust, I presume, and not to mention, you know, everyone else laying awake at night worrying about shit. Like, how wild is it that you've still got people like the questionably funded Institute of Economic Affairs, Andrew Lillico, on Twitter, like, why are the IMF intervening? You know, everything's fine. Everything's fine. I don't understand why the IMF are even getting involved. I tell you what, lads, the IMF have gone all lefty. I bet it's full of Ramona. Like, I was blown away by how quick it took him. Like, no time. How quick he moved to trivialize the intervention by the IMF as, like, I think his exact words, if not exact, then almost exact. He was like, well, they've self-declared as a lefty institution. That's That was his takeaway on it. Well, the IMF are just self-declaring as a lefty organisation or whatever. Like, mate, you've just self-declared as a fucking idiot. Like, how anyone can sit there, let alone the mouthpiece of an organisation who can't bring themselves to confirm who's funding them, and against the backdrop of a pound falling through the floor, these pension funds and mortgages, how you can sit there and go, well, tell you what, it's just because they're woke. Like, it's unbelievable. Like, it's the political and economic equivalent of, like, you know, when you were a kid and you come home in tears because the other kids called you a big-eared, goofy cunt. Like, I mean, that's happened to everyone, right, guys? I mean, right, guys? That's happened to everyone, right? You remember when you'd be upset because everyone in your class pushed you into a corner and 27 kids from form room 2B and your teacher all called you a big-eared, goofy cunt? Do you remember that, guys? That happened to everyone. And so you'd go home crying to your mum, and your mum would laugh in your face. No. And your mum would say, this is what it's the equivalent of. Your mum would say, oh, they're just jealous. Like, that is this. You know, all the kids call you a big-eared, goofy cunt or whatever. You know, they call you fatty or use a racial slur or, you know, or skinny bitch or, you know, like whatever it is, whatever's your thing that they took the piss out of you and bullied you with. You go home and you tell your mum about it and she goes, oh, they're just jealous. Like, I don't think they are, mum. They called me a fat prick for 3 hours straight and kept prodding my belly. Oh, they're just jealous. I don't think they want to be fat pricks, mum. That's not the fucking lesson here. Oh, they're just jealous. That is Andrew Lillico telling himself, like, oh, it's just because they're woke. It's just because they're woke. That's why they're getting involved. Bloody IMF, lefty Ramona wokies. It's definitely not that your faves, fucking Lizzie and Kwasi, did what you wanted and it's fucked the country. And now the big boys at the Bank of England and IMF are stepping in like, bro, this is fucked. Like, the fuck are you doing? It's just that they're wokies. Like, it's amazing how much stuff is woke that is also stuff that they just don't like, isn't it? It's incredible, the overlap there. If something is politically inconvenient or embarrassing for them, oh, I see that thing's gone woke now. That's like, you know, well, I see the IMF has self-declared as a lefty organisation now, is pretty much what he said. Unbelievable idiocy. I saw some other real winners, though, out there today. Real intellectual heavyweights. I mean, sometimes it is just an honour to share Twitter with them. The great minds of the Conservative Party. One guy, quick swig. One guy, he was like, and this, oh man, this is fucking funny. Who was it? Oh, Lord Ashcroft. That was it. Yeah, that's what he said earlier. He said, a currency trader has just told me that a driver to sell sterling was not just a mini budget, but a concern that Labour could form the next government. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Oh my God. Fuck me diagonally. I think we can file this in the never fucking happened bin. I think we can print this out and put it in the fiction section. This is a tweet that when you click the post button, if you are Lord Ashcroft and you write this tweet, it's drafted, and you go to you click the post button, a little Twitter bird, but with a grimace on its face, should pop up, should animate up, like, you know, eyebrows arched inward, like, really? A blue bird, just like pre-cringing at your drafted tweet. Like, click the tweet button, it pops up, and you're like, are you sure? You want to tweet this? Like, did this really happen, though? Come on. Runs your tweet through an AI, you know, through a machine learning API that feeds into databases of similar tweets and comes back with stats and a recommendation. Like, little bird's like, are you sure you want to tweet this? Because 87% of people who tweeted something similar were graded F on the misinformation thing, you know? But anyway, let's dig into it because, you know, fuck it. A currency trader has just told me that a driver to sell sterling was not just a mini budget, but a concern that Labour could form the next government. Let's just touch on that first opening bit. A currency trader has just told me. A currency trader. Not a Forex trader. Not an FX trader. Not even just a trader. But a currency trader. I don't know. Does anyone that listens to this podcast like work in the city? Like, doesn't that sound weird? That sounds fucking made up, is what it sounds like. Like, you know, shit fiction from someone who didn't bother to research the subject, you know? Like, I've worked in the city off and on for a decade, and I've literally never heard that type of job called a currency trader. Yeah, what's up, bro? What do you do for a living? Yeah, cool. No, I'm a currency trader. Yeah. Like, I've never heard that. It's like calling a butcher a fucking meatmonger or something. You know, like it's technically correct, but just lands wrong, right? What do you do? I'm an audio program presenter. Wait, what, you mean you do podcasts? Yeah. Well, just fucking say that then, weirdo. You know? So it already feels like bullshit. But fine, let's continue. A currency trader has just told me that a driver to sell sterling was not just a mini budget, but a concern that Labour could form the next government. So I like that he's put not just the mini budget. Not just the mini, but like, I like the acknowledgement. Like, guys, it's not just the intellectual trusterfuck of Kwasi and Liz bending the UK economy over and eye-wateringly buggering the shit till it prolapses on the global market. It's not just that. I mean, that is probably begrudgingly a, you know, contributing factor somewhere, you know. It's probably being considered by some people somewhere in some corners of the city. But also worth mentioning is the deep concern that Labour could form the next government, which I found so worthy of mention, so worthy of consideration, so damning was it that I must tweet it, you know, to balance the journo-political discourse out there. It's time to keep a level head, lest we disappear into the realms of fantasy, where, you know, someone might just talk utter nonsense at the drop of a hat on Twitter, God forbid. Concerned that Labour might form the next government. Just take that in. We are right in the middle of a cross-tornado hurricane of Brexit border chaos, a new government, a shit pit monetary policy, and the arse falling out of the economy. And this guy is like, I think these guys are spooked that we might not be in charge soon. Like, I'm surprised the NHS are still doing lobotomies, but evidently they are. Like, everything's in chaos. Crime's going to shoot up. People are going to lose their savings and pensions and homes. And this guy truly believes that investors are looking at the UK as a safe house currency and future investment opportunity. Like, well, sure, it looks good now, but what if that other guy gets in? It might all go to shit, you know? The other trophy winner this afternoon. Oh, man. The other great mind of the Conservatives this afternoon. I mean, it really, today has been like stars in their eyes, but I don't know, like if all your heroes were retarded. I mean, like, I know that's not the right word to, but whatever. I've had a couple of beers, you know? It's like tonight, Matthew, I'm going to be starved of oxygen. Tonight, Matthew, I'm going to be a person whose mother took crack in pregnancy. And out they come, doing their best impression of your mentally impaired cousin after the boating accident. You know what I mean? Anyway, here he is. Here's the other one. This was a thing of beauty. I don't remember Labour opposing that other big risky fiscal maneuver, the furlough scheme. Like, okay, all right, fucking hell. I don't remember Labour opposing that other big risky fiscal maneuver called the furlough scheme. Like, just put it down. Who the fuck let you have an Android? Like, what kind of trouble do patients get in on this ward when you give them smartphones? How many of these people are active on the Brexit Till I Die Telegram channel right now? 50? 100? Jesus Christ. I don't remember Labour opposing that other big risky fiscal manoeuvre, the furlough scheme. Like, first of all, fuck you. Second, that was a Tory policy, you fucking idiot. Like, where's the bird? Come on, Twitter. Get the feature shipped. We need it. We really do. We can't have people like this clicking post and there being no quality control, stopping them from sending this cretiny out into the ether. You know, you type this shit. Like, I don't remember Labour opposing that other big risky fiscal manoeuvre, the furlough scheme. It should pop up. Are you sure you want to tweet that? Because 96% of the other people who tweeted that got replies reminding them that it was a Tory chancellor who created and rolled out the furlough scheme, you fucking learner. You utter fucking dribbler. Would you like us to, like, auto-call the nurse? Tweet at the nurse? Because we're Twitter. We stored her number when she signed up under the handle @tiredofclowns. Like, is that how far through the looking glass we are now? That Tories are getting at Labour by bashing Tory policies. Well, I don't remember Labour opposing that other policy that we rolled out, which was clearly so bad I'm now using it as an example of something Labour should oppose. Like, how is this sane? This is not the debate style or discourse of a sane person. You know? Well, I didn't see you complain when I did that other thing that I now conveniently don't agree with. Get the fuck out of here, bellend. And third, I think it was second point, wasn't it? So I'm on the third point now. There's a huge difference between a public health emergency. I mean, I hope this should go without saying, right? Big difference between public health emergencies that necessitate basically closing down society and keeping millions of people from falling into bankruptcy. The difference between that and causing fucking bankruptcy. Bloody lefties. I didn't see you object to helping people when we were helping. Oh, what? But now I'm about to hurt people. You have a problem with that, bloody hypocrite. Like, are you mental? Where is this going to go? Where do you guys think this is headed? I mean, as I record this, Truss and Kwarteng are, hiding as best as I can see. Not quite in a fridge, but that could just be down to the electricity bill. Maybe number 10 have, downgraded a bit, you know? Hiding an ottoman in the hallway. Hide in the pantry, Liz. It's cheaper, yeah? Like, even people like Dan Hodges from the Mail on Sunday are like, look, this is obviously a fucking disaster, and they're going to have to roll it back. Or some of it back. And to his credit, if not that of, financial institutions that are soon going to need credit and a lot of it, lol, he's right. And the longer they leave this and bury their heads in the sand, the more arrogant and out of touch they appear, and the more chaotic and scary it's going to be for the rest of us. But no, at the moment, it's quite politically bewildering, isn't it? Like, the last update from the Treasury was this afternoon, I think, and it said there will be no reversal of policy. No reversal of policy when this is the situation that policy has caused. It really is, it's quite darkly funny, you know? Half of me wants to say, why don't you just kill it now? Let all the people who bought the dollars before shift it back into pounds now. You kill the policy, sterling rallies, they make another fortune, and then we can all just, sign relief. I mean, that is probably looking at lawyer. That's probably what is going on here. They talk to a bunch of currency traders, if that's what we're calling them. They talk to a bunch of currency traders, and they said, we're going to announce this policy. It's going to cause a load of shit. So if you want to make a few quids, why don't you buy some dollars? And so they all went and bought their dollars. Now the pound has tanked. Now if they bought back into the pound and they roll back this policy, the pound will rally and they'll all get rich again. I think that's what's going on. Probably. Although I can't say for certain without consulting legal advice. I don't want to get sued. Like, if it's like, can we just get it over with, is basically what I'm thinking. If that's what's going on here, then can we just roll it back now? Let these people make their money, and then we can please just carry on with something close to normalcy, if that is even a word. Like, if you're going to gut and murder me, can we just get it over with? By this point, we get it, guys. We get it. You're cold-hearted, sociopathic, self-serving agents of evil who will happily torch the country you claim to love if it secures you a cushy role when you get kicked out of government in 6 months or a year. Like, your time's up and you're looting what you can, whoever it hurts. We get it. We know what you are. Can we just do this little dance, call the GE, and move on? And then can we implement electoral reform, proportional representation, to just lock you cunts out of power forevermore? Please. Guys, that is it for this one. If you enjoy these shows, the solo ones and indeed the guest ones, why not come down to the London meetup? I'm having a meetup piss-up. It's in London on the 27th of October, which is a Thursday, in E1. We're going to get pissed and talk about Tories, realistically. I'll be there, hopefully with a couple of friends and guests from some of the shows that I've done over the last year and a half. It is exclusively available to listeners who support the show. So if you are enjoying the episodes, guested and solo ones, jump on patreon.com/Aid Thompson. It is super cheap to support. It starts at like £3 a month is the first tier. Or if you're not in a position to support the show, all I would ask is maybe share me around. Just click share or like the upwards arrow on one of the podcast episodes, and then paste that into a chat with your mate and just say, look, been listening to this dude. He talks about politics and rants a bit. He does solo shows, but he also has guests on, and just say, yeah, I think you might enjoy it, or I've enjoyed it. Maybe you might too, or whatever. Don't even say anything. Just paste it in there. Just say, here's a fucking link, you twat. Listen to this shit. Or maybe something nicer. I would like them to actually give me a chance. If you call them a twat, they might not do. Another bit of show admin, guys, that is less about promoting the meetup piss up, and indeed less about promoting the Patreon. Clearly, I'm trying to grow this. I'm trying to drag it, kicking and screaming, into the realm of graft over grift, if you get me. I want it to be self-sustaining, this podcast, basically. I want it to start generating money with a view, here's the thing, to this becoming my full-time thing. And I have a day job, and I work very hard at it, and I'm a dad. I've got 2 kids. So time is precious, and I put a lot of effort into these shows, although, I work very hard to make it look incredibly slapdash and shit still. But I would like it to take off in some capacity, and the way that I'm going to do that is half by sort of Patreons and people continuing to support, for which I'm incredibly grateful, and we'll read out the Patreon names in a second. But also, I have to be honest, I'm going to start looking for sponsors. So if you listen to the show and you run a small business, or you know somebody who runs a small business who wants to start advertising on shows like this, why not get in touch? Just tweet at me at Aid Thompson, or tweet at the podcast's own account, which is at Oh Shut Up Aid, I think. Or is it my name that's Oh Shut Up Aid? And it's And Other Disappointments, I think. I don't know. Just tweet at me. at Aid Thompson with an IN on the end, or go to the Funk 27 site. And if you go to the contact page, you can just pop your email in there and then I'll hit you back. Basically, what I'm looking for is a sponsor to help grow with the show. So we'll talk about some sort of deal for like 6 months or a year. And as the listeners continue to go up and the views continue to go up on YouTube, then your exposure as a sponsor, as a supporter of the show will continue to grow also. And I want it to be a sort of ideally a long-term partnership where as the show grows into, sort of live gigs and maybe even, dare I say, like a mini festival stage. How cool would that be if we did like a live edition of this show in a tiny little stage in Glastonbury? It would be really fun. So doing those events and continuing to put out this kind of content and 2 episodes a week, ideally, the theory is that this sponsor or sponsors will share in that limelight and indeed in that exposure. Sorry, that's not a particularly fun or funny update to leave you on. Hopefully, any prospective sponsors won't look too dimly on how sort of mundane that all sounded. But that's the direction of the show that I'm trying to take it, and I'm really excited about where things are headed. So if you want to get involved in that, don't be shy. Tweet at me or jump on funk27.co.uk and get on the contact page. Thanks once again. I've got a couple of guest shows coming up soon. Really excited about putting them out. I've already recorded them, so they're ready to go. So there'll be one out on Friday night this week and another one next Friday. And yeah, there's loads more coming up. Looking forward to catching up with those of you on Thursday the 27th. And I'll speak to the rest of you soon, no doubt. Cheers. Bye-bye.